Testing, one, two, three. Testing, one, two, three. Let's see here. There we go. We run? Alright. Hello everyone, I'm Total Paragon and I'm making art for a project I'm working on. So yeah, if you're listening in, I will be checking the chat occasionally and just check me out, I guess. You get to watch actual art be made. Just give me just a second to get this set up. Don't mind what you hear in the background. That's just other people. Shh. Go away, other people. Give me just a second here as I fix. Alrighty. So as you can see here, I'm making a sun object. I got to make a bunch of decals for a class, and so I have begun making them. Alright, now I'm all correctified. Alright, sorry, I just gotta make a lot of adjustments because I've never streamed on this machine before. Anyway, let's get to work. Right now I'm just applying an outline to the sun because my art style is supposed to emulate old school comics. And if anyone here has read older comics, they'll know that um, oftentimes you'll they'll have thick black edges around items. So I want to sort of emulate that in my art here. Alrighty. Kaboosh, 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 kaboosh. And so a lot of it is just going in pixel by pixel. I promise with the next model it'll start to get a little bit more advanced because you'll be able to see the actual design process behind making a object versus just seeing what is right now me polishing it up with the edges. Where you get to see what works and what doesn't quite work. Get rid of those. Let's get these back on here. And then eraser. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Want to make sure the edges are nice and sharp. And then we're just going to go in here. I have an idea. Let's see if we can get it to work real quick. If I can get this to work, the stroke should be nothing. Or no, the fill should be nothing and the stroke should be black. If I can grab it right, let's see, that this object, if I recall, is 0.3. That's not right. Come on. Did I nail it? Somewhat. I'm just going to apply that there. That's a good start. I guesstimated fairly correctly. Now we're just going to fill in the details. All right, yes. Rasterize. Boy, I'm too tired for this. Boy. I just want this really, really nice sun to be made. Boy. And just so you know, chat, I'll have to cut audio occasionally Um, like if I have to talk to someone, I'll have to cut audio real quick. It's not because I don't like you, it's just because sometimes people need to be talked to. Sometimes people need me. Not often. Not often am I needed, nor wanted, but sometimes. But as you can see, the artistic style of the game revolves heavily on the black borders on the edges, giving it that nice, defined, very thick shape. Get rid of that, lighten that up so it sort of matches the tone of the object. One of the key points when you're making anything is consistency. Because if you're not consistent with your work, you won't have as good of a time trying to sell your work. Brum, 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 brum. I could just messed up my own. Yeah, consistency. What was I just talking about? I wasn't doing it that way. I was doing it a different way, and then I just, for some reason, started mixing it up. Get rid of those. I'm not using a hard eraser because I want to softly get rid of things in case I want things to still leave a little bit of a blur, because this is the sun and all, and so even though my style requires very sharp edges, I still want to keep a little bit of the idea of lights spreading through this thing because it's the sun. Let me just scroll across there. Bam, 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 bam. Let me go back a few because I didn't like that. Just made the same mistake. There we go. That's... I don't like either way. There we go. I can live with this at least. Sorry. Alrighty, stream health is good. That is fantastic. Good job. Good job, stream. 2 people watching, good job. But anyway, after I finish this up, you all will hopefully know how to do some pixel art if you're paying attention to how I'm doing it. I'm not good at pixel art, not gonna lie, but you know what? You might be. And then you can do pixel art for me, so I don't have to. Do work so I don't have to. Woof. How intermitting is this? You gotta watch me draw black lines over and over again. Brum, 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 brum. It's so... There's a lot of tedious tasks when designing a game. And actually, I may be showing off some gameplay because I helped make a game and it won a game jam for best design. There, actually, first off, there's the sun. I like how this turned out. I'm going to save it. File, save as, desktop, sun, 128 by 128. Sun underscore 128 by 128. There we go. Perfect. That was fun and entertaining, right, guys? I can hear you all. You're all like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he just did all that quickly and effectively. Well, anyway, I mean, it's not hard to make pixel art. It really isn't. It's all about just you put in the time and you can make it. Next up, file new. When making pixel art though, I would set the width and height to be whatever you want. In this case, I'm using 128 by 128. That way you can have a bit more detail. But actually for this one, I'm going to lower to 64 by 64 because I want this to have a little less detail. It's not going to be as, I don't want attention to be drawn away because this will be more in the foreground. So I definitely don't want attention to be drawn away from the player as they um, walk by it because it's going to be a fire hydrant. Resolution, always set it to 72. Otherwise you'll run into problems in the long run. Let me just shrink this down. I don't need the sun right now. Alrighty. You guys are hearing Dead Inside Paragon. So for the fire hydrant, we're going to start, I'm actually going to start with the edges of this one. I'm going to give myself a little bit more room to work with so I can see it a little bit better. But this one, I wanted to put it just a pixel off the ground. Not too high, but I want to put it a pixel off the ground. Let me do some math real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then on the other side, I should have, boy, not gonna work today? Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wait, did I count wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, so I have room for one more. That's what I thought. And then, so from there, I'm going to draw up the length of fire extinguisher, leading to the fact that fire extinguishers have the little side thingy, curve around the side thingy, then they have a little nub, which is going to be about that tall, that wide, that looks good. What are you doing? And then finish that up, 4, 5, bam, bam. And then it leads up to the, narrows in a little bit, and then it leads to the big part of fire. Let's just look up fire extinguishers real quick. Or not fire extinguisher, fire hydrant. So as you can see, in this one right here, it actually, when it goes out, it will then goes in, then it has a big jet out, then a narrow in. So what we're going to do, because whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie pants, I'm going to take all of this and drag, move it down a few spots. That way we have time. And we just move this. Oi, layer 1 selected. Thank you, Photoshop. I only had to correct you in order for you to listen to me. Already are you better than half my teammates. And for this one, it'll take a pretty wide jet out, leading into a turn here. but the turn's pretty narrow, so let's just leave it at that. Let's just polish this to make it look a little smoother. There you go. I want to make sure all the edges are very precise because nothing will make it look more amateur than not having um, well-defined edges to an object. And so I want to make sure I have those. Bam, 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 bam. D. Perfect. Let me just Alt drag and then edit, transform, rotate 180 degree. Wait, no. Transform, flip horizontal. Perfect. And then let's just add the little nub at the top. Now, obviously, there are a few mistakes here. I don't like how fatty this is. So what we're going to do is we are going to draw it just on the inside ever so slightly. Gotta make sure we're symmetrical on either side there. Take the eraser, get rid of all of the wrong and unnecessary parts. Sorry, you guys were good while it lasted, but unfortunately you just sucked. Then you realize this is still a really awful looking fire hydrant. Merge layers. Then you realize it's still an awful looking fire hydrant and more changes will need to be made. Another easy fix. Well, let's first make things consistent. So, right here, we're only 3 up. And then we move over 1. There you go. And then let's just simply take all of what's happened here and move it up a spot or two. And then we're going to take all of this right here and move it down a spot. That way it'll get more of that shape we want because I'll then take everything and move this down a few spaces. So now it's already getting that much more fatter design. Because I'm going to add on the bottom here also just a little, let me go back to my tool. What's up, buddy? Why are you not working? Oh, 1 second. Burp. Gotta cancel that order. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 up. Bam. Bam. And then, I mean, that should suffice for now. If I really want to make them bigger, I can, but that should be able to give enough definition that I won't have to. Now, real quick like here, if you notice on the fire hydrant, they're completely symmetrical. This right here is not. There's so many art errors right now, I can't even. So many things I'm like, why am I showing you guys this? You're just looking at me like, whoa, what a bad artist. But with enough grit and determination, even bad art can sometimes be good. Good. Boo, boo, boo. Woke me up this morning with a gun up to my head. Actually, right here, something I did like was putting this right here and this right here. It helps give an emphasis of turn, I think. Next up, we're working with this narrow bit right here. We need to polish it. I want to make it look a little nicer, so I'm just going to lower it by 1. And then we're going to pen tool our way, because if you look closely here, there's actually, it goes up, but then it sort of flattens out, probably right here, and it'd go up a few pieces, and so right here it'd still be going up, but it flattens out, up, flattens out. I'm going to take this tool right here again, going to grab all of this, going to drag up, bam, whoop, bam, erase the last edges here, because they are ugly. Your edges are ugly. They must be cleansed. There we go. Perfect. Or well, as close to perfect as it's going to be. Then we are just going to add the little nut on top. Now this isn't a perfect fire hydrant in terms of fire hydrant, but what it is it'll be a good fire hydrant in terms of style of game. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that actually matters is, does it fit into the style of your game? So this will fit well into the over-the-top cartoony style of this game. We're just going to finish this one up, then I'll let you all go, because I'm sure as much as you love hearing all about this wonderful time I'm having playing with fire hydrants, you probably don't want to watch it forever. I'm going to switch to pencil here because I no longer want that faded edge, because I'm working with now an object in the sense that you don't want edges on your fire hydrants. It's not something that's a want or desire. Port red. Obviously a lot of little um quite a few little flaws there. Nothing that can't be fixed with a good eraser tool though. It's certainly faster in going into paint every single last darn pixel. Burp, 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 burp. So what we're going to do is take a much darker gray and draw a line through this to visually break that up, along with a slightly lighter gray. Yeah, we'll use a slightly lighter gray, and that will be our circle. I'm just going to use the circle tool for the sake of time. So we'll put in a circle right here, 250 by 250, drag you, over here. Hey, knock that off. I would like to drag the circle. Can the circle be unbroken? There's that. And then finally, we have ourselves that little circle in the middle. And with that, we'll just do the same thing for the first circle, but smaller. And we'll just make sure that's sitting nice and in the center of the first circle. There you go, switch to ellipse 2. Hey, stop that. You're breaking my heart, buddy. Thank you. And that's right there. And now that's pretty much it, honestly. I'm going to go through and add some touch-ups, of course, because um, I gotta fix it up. But for the most part, it's a done deal. This is a fully workable fire hydrant for use in gaming. And yeah, I didn't go in and do every last pixel, but one of the things, if you go into gaming, you'll find is it's oftentimes a lot better work smarter rather than harder. And then in that sense, I just mean, um, yes, you can go all out on every single last detail, and people will notice that. But at the same time, don't kill yourself stressing the small things, because as soon as you begin to do that, you will hate yourself for not being able to do that for every project. And so really it's just finding your balance on how much work are you willing to put into this based on the priority of the task. Because there are tasks that are just simply like this fire hydrant here. I'm going to put all like a work into it, but at the same time, this isn't the main focus, or even one of the main objects of focus of my title. Where a fireman game, it might be, but it is not, and as such, it loses a little bit of priority in that sense, simply because um, it isn't a necessity. This is a decal. I'm making this because I want to make my game prettier, not because, hey, you know what we need? A fire hydrant. And so once you start just playing around and figuring out what you need, what you don't, the process will get a lot easier, I promise. Bam. Let me just finish this up. Actually, you know what we can do? We can move all these over one bit. That'll look really nice. Stop. Move all of these over one bit. Draw. Perfect. So as you can see there, that is a fully functioning object. Right now I'm looking to see where I can improve. I think one thing that'll make it improve is if I take all this and I drag it over one block. That way it gives a greater sense of um, consistency in the art. My red and black layer. So there you go. There you have it, people. Now, I know I said don't stress the details, but the devil is in the details, so we're going to stress them one last time. And just so we get that nice, perfect symmetry, we're going to move this over there. Why aren't you letting me draw? Oh, alrighty, don't mind that. That was just me being silly. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this. That, for the most part, is a fire hydrant. I just gotta add the details on the top here, which I've got time to do that because they're very similar to the ones on the bottom in the sense that, well, they're really just the opposite. I'm going to grab my pen tool. I'm going to draw across the top there, give that nice stud, and then it's curves coming from the top to the bottom. So really, that's just this. And then thwip thwap, patty attack. And then finish this one up right here. And one thing you'll run into a lot is good enough. So this is good enough for an asset in my game. So I'm just going to File, Save As, Fire Hydrant, underscore 64 by 64. Save that there. Now, for that, we will conclude our little lesson in pixel art, and hopefully you liked it. Have a great day, peeps.